Hello, Taurus. Welcome or welcome back. It's good to see you. This is a timeless collective reading for anyone with major Taurus placements, or if you were just intuitively guided here, I'm sure there's a message for you as well. Okay, so I've been sitting with your energy all morning. I have a bunch of channeled messages that have come through, but before we get into those, I actually want to dive right into the oracle cards that I've pulled for you just to represent the theme of your reading. So the theme of your reading, and this is from the Poesis Oracle deck, by the way, the theme of your reading is represented by womb and surrender. So you are in a womb space as we speak. You are in the process of recreating or reinventing yourself, I feel, in a very particular way, which I did get in my channeled messages. So this is a process of self-reinvention that is requiring surrender or patience on your part, because I feel like there is some kind of energy, whether it's within you or around you, maybe both, but there's just some kind of shadow energy here that is incredibly distracting, and it might make you feel like you don't have the time or the space that you need to really enjoy being in the womb. So I pulled a couple of other oracle cards just to represent what this like shadowy, distracting energy is. And funny enough, it's represented by birth and create. So this could be a voice within yourself, the voices of people around you. I'm hearing a timeline, somebody putting you on a timeline. Or both, I'm not sure. However it's manifesting for you, this birth create energy, it's almost like a form of pressure for you to get out of the womb space as quickly as you can. Like reinvent yourself faster. Recreate yourself faster, or get to this finish line of creating something faster. You have a deadline, or you should already be in the physical stages of manifestation when really something still needs to be energetically or emotionally played with, so to speak. When I look at these two cards, it just feels loud. Normally these would be beautiful cards. I mean, this is out of context. This is beautiful energy, right? But in this context, it just feels so loud and almost kind of annoying. Anything that is making you feel like you are under pressure to create something faster or reinvent yourself faster, Spirit is coming through to say, ignore it. Like, it's very important to acknowledge the distracting energies for what they are, whether they're internal voices or external voices, whatever. Acknowledge that it's there, but also in that, acknowledge that it's not of alignment. It's not the energy of alignment. It's not a voice or an energy that you need to be listening to. This feels like pressure. This feels like fear. This feels like rushing. And what you do not want to do is preemptively express something or preemptively manifest something, preemptively create something that's unfinished. Something is unfinished right now, and that's perfect. That's perfect, okay? So all of this was making me think about, and I'm gonna get into my notes in just a second here, but all of this was making me think about a couple months ago, there was a reading I did for you, and I think the title of it was Your Aura Has Changed, or Your Aura Has Upgraded. And I feel almost like now this is the sort of trickle down effect of your energy having upgraded. What I feel, what I channeled, and what I feel is that what you're really reinventing is a very tangible physical form of self-expression. So let's get into my notes now, because it transitions pretty seamlessly. So when I went into your general energy, you showed up to me as this silvery, white, iridescent, shimmering light. You were basically showing up as a body of light, and you were shimmering in a way that you were kind of coming in and out of focus. And I asked Spirit, why is Taurus showing up in this way? And I heard they are calibrating. You are testing something or trying something on for size. And when I heard trying something on for size, I saw in my mind's eye a pair of bright red, like my nails, bright red high heels. So I asked, okay, what is Taurus testing or trying on for size? And I heard a new way of presenting or carrying themselves. And Spirit means this quite literally. So you might already be experiencing this. Maybe you're already playing around with this, or you feel called to. And if not, this is your invitation to start doing this. But now is the time to play around with clothes, jewelry, makeup, hair, your entire presentation, including even, I heard, your gait, which is your manner of walking, your posture, your eye contact, everything that is of your physical presentation is meant to be played with right now. And I heard this is necessary because it's important for Taurus to have their physical presentation be congruent with their energetic signature. So perhaps on an energetic level, on an auric field level, you've already rebirthed yourself. You already went through a rebirth and a reinvention on an energetic level. And now you get to play. And I cannot emphasize enough the word play, because this is not something that's supposed to feel heavy or hard. Now you get to play with new ways of physically expressing the energetic upgrade, update you've gone through, okay? And again, this surrender card here, pairing with the womb card, it really does feel like there are moments where you might really be feeling the pressure of whatever this energy is. Like, come on, hurry up, like figure it out. And maybe in tandem with you playing with new ways of physically presenting yourself, you're also physically creating something like a song or a book or a painting, or I'm hearing you're maybe renovating your home. You know, this could also, you reinventing your physical self in this way is potentially for many of you in tandem with you physically creating an object, a thing, right? So take it how it resonates. But this is, you can't rush the process of birth, not energetically, not physically. So when those voices of pressure come up that tell you, okay, it's time, like, let's put it out there now, let's put ourselves out there now, in a way that makes you feel like you have to have it all figured out immediately, don't cave to that pressure. Don't put yourself on that kind of pressure, under that kind of pressure. Surrender to the organic timing of being in the womb space. And I think the antidote really is having fun, being playful. Now, technically, The very, very first thing that came through when I connected with your energy, before I went into any of that, was a footprint. I saw what looked almost like an illustrated footprint. It was not a footprint in sand or in dirt or gravel. It was just a footprint by itself, almost like it had been sketched in black ink or black pen. And with this footprint, I heard Taurus has walked the well-trodden path. I couldn't really get into it any more than that at first. I sat with it for a while, but I felt blocked to going in deeper. So then I went into your general energy, which I just explained. And after I went into your energy, the footprint started to make a lot more sense. So I feel like that is, I know this is like a roundabout way of explaining things, but that's just how it's coming through. I feel like there's a message in that for you too. If there's something that you do feel blocked relative to, like there's a deeper understanding you're trying to get at with something, but you just can't. Spirit is saying, switch gears, take a step back, take a break, and focus on something that's more permeable. Focus on something that's just easier to focus on. And you'll find that following that path of least resistance is going to take you down a trail of breadcrumbs that essentially gives you all these puzzle pieces and connects these dots and gives you these bits of information you didn't even know you needed, that will allow you to then come full circle back to the original thing and unlock the deeper understanding, or be able to see it from a new vantage point. Okay, so I went into your general energy, and then I saw the red high heels, and I was like, oh, there's another reference to feet. So, and then I heard, as part of exploring, your physical presentation, I heard your gait, which is again your manner of walking, another symbol for feet, or something pointing to your feet. So I was putting it all together, and it became very apparent to me that Spirit was highlighting the importance of your feet right now. So I actually went down a whole little rabbit hole. I did some Google searching and exploring around the symbolism of feet. And it's a lot. There's a lot there. So I would just invite you to, if you feel called to it, do that for yourself, because there's going to be certain things that you find that you resonate with that somebody else wouldn't, vice versa. But I would just invite you to pay attention to your feet. Work with your feet physically or energetically. Maybe get a new pair of shoes, or explore reflexology, or massage your feet. Maybe get a pedicure. I don't know. Do whatever resonates. But on an essential level, I feel like the symbolism of feet is about your path. And that was the first thing that came through with the footprint. You have walked the well-trodden path. And I feel like it's time for you to, it's almost time for you to explore a new path. Maybe quite literally. It's time for you to explore a new path. But for whatever reason, as you transition from one path to another, as you're in this transitory womb space, it's just super important for you to give your feet a lot of extra love and care and attention in whatever way feels right. I heard appreciating or taking care of your feet is like sending love to your past self for getting you here. Okay. I know that's kind of random and specific, but that's just what I'm getting. Okay, is there anything else I wanted to say? I was getting something about, let me tune into this. Well, yeah, I was getting something about a life review or a life reflection. It's part of sending love to your past self through loving your feet. Reflecting on your life up to this point. Well, it's like you're closing out a chapter. A chapter has already closed. A chapter has already closed. That's why you're in the process of reinventing yourself in such a tangible way. So maybe something that would be very helpful for you to do while you're in this womb space is reflecting on your whole life story up to this point as if it was a book unto itself. And you're now about to step into a whole new story of your life, a new unfolding, right? Yeah, that doing that kind of life review sort of reflection, I feel, will help to integrate a lot and also inform your creations, your new self, and whatever your new self is creating. Okay, let's go into tarot. This is the Green Menagerie Tarot. Where do I go from here, Spirit? I asked if I should go into your general energy, and I'm hearing nope. It's like your general energy, I've already explained it, kind of. It's like that shimmering, silvery white, beautiful light. And we know you're in the womb space. Your energy is very watery right now. It's very permeable, malleable, liminal. It's in flux. And I feel like that's as far as we need to go into that 1616 on the timer. So what do I go into? Spirit is drawing me to this distracting energy. Tell me a little bit more about, like, what does Taurus need to know about this distracting energy that would put them under the gun, put them under pressure to evolve. I'm hearing transmute faster, evolve faster, grow faster, go faster. What is this distracting energy? I can feel the pressure on my chest. Hang on. For some of you, it might be self-judgment, a voice of self-judgment or self-criticism, anticipating criticism from others. It's just feeling the need to rush. Tell me more. It's definitely something that takes you out of your body and into your head, overthinking, overthinking, overthinking. Four of Pentacles. Self-preservation. And the King of Pentacles. Yeah, this is a lot of, I just feel self-protection. This is the energy of self-protection. Energetic or emotional. Nothing gets in, nothing gets out, right? There's a lot of stubborn energy here. It's like the belief that there's a very particular way that things should be done. In order to self-preserve and protect, things need to be done in a certain way, in a certain order, according to a certain timeline, by a certain deadline. This is very controlling energy. The opposite of the beautiful, watery, permeable, fluid, flexible situation you're in, that you need to be in. This is rigid, controlling energy. So try to notice, if you can, rigid, controlling voices in your own head that make you believe you're out of control by being playful and taking your time. And notice that energy in other people around you too. Tell me a little bit more about this. It feels almost disembodied. It's very interesting because this create card is a bust. So we're just looking at it from basically the neck up. It's disembodied. It's again that energy of overthinking, not grounded, ironically, even though we've got all this Pentacles energy. Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Wands. Go, go, go. Faster, faster, faster. Work faster. Master your thing faster. Master yourself faster. Do what you're doing faster. Yeah. Because we need to operate within a very specific paradigm, framework. It's almost on the surface, it's presenting again as like this really pretty energy, but underneath it's like a chokehold kind of energy that gives you no freedom or flexibility to just swim in playfulness. Okay. So just be on the lookout for that. And what should Taurus do about it when they notice it? What should Taurus do about this distracting energy? The Hermit. And Temperance at the bottom of the deck. That's so beautiful. Ignore it. I feel like the Hermit is saying ignore it, you know. Acknowledge it, of course, for what it is. You can't pretend it's not there or delude yourself. You just acknowledge, oh, yep, there's that voice. There's that voice, or yep, that person's operating in a whole different reality. They're in the energy of fear, or this is the voice of fear. Yep, I see it for what it is. Okay, shift gears, refocus inside. I'm gonna focus within and take my time. Temperance, 2244 on the timer. Temperance is patience. Temperance is alchemy. Temperance is healing and a willingness to take all the time you need. It quite literally represents an elongated stretch of time. The journey you're going on here in this womb space, I was going to say it has no timeline, but let me feel into that. Well, it certainly has no definite timeline. It's not like you can say with absolute certainty, you are going to reinvent yourself and be reborn on October 9th. For sure, with no variation. No, your timeline is not that definite, I feel. You can kind of intuitively feel your own timeline and the timeline of, you know, when you will be ready or when your creation will be ready. But you don't need to focus on that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Actually, the less resistance you have to being unfinished currently, the faster you'll go, right? Tell me more about Temperance. Temperance is also about blending opposite energies or blending polarities in order to create something entirely new and entirely original to you. You're creating something that has never been created before, whether it's yourself, a form of your self-expression, or an object, a piece of art, whatever it is. You're creating something that has never been created before. So there is no straight line to it. This process of self-reinvention is cyclical, it is circular, and it requires finesse, you know? Temperance, the alchemy of temperance, requires unbelievable attunement. There's nothing about it that's robotic. Five of Pentacles. King of Wands. Oh, and look at what's at the bottom of the deck. The Fool. Snuck in there. Yeah. These voices of pressure are of the energy of lack. You see that. You have the ability to see it for what it is, to not be dragged down by it. Actually, more than that, I feel like Spirit is saying you have the capacity to be inspired by it, because in the moment that you recognize it for what it is, you can go, oh, that's exactly what I don't want to do. That's exactly, thank you, universe, for showing me exactly who I am not, what I am not, what I do not want to be. You want to be in this King of Wands Fool energy, right? Your own authority. I'm hearing your own creative genius, who gives yourself freedom of expression, right? Okay. So use it to your advantage. More than just refocus inward. You can use it to your advantage in the sense that it's almost like a reminder. Every time you recognize that pressure energy, you can go, oh, thank you. Yep, nope. Don't want to be that. Don't want to do that. That's my like reference point for misalignment. Now I know even more clearly what alignment does feel like. It feels like freedom. Okay. So anything else I need to pull from tarot here? I feel like no. Let's just go into some journal prompts for you from my journal prompt deck. And then we'll get a closing message. Journal prompts for Taurus. In what ways are you already who you want to be? What would your 6-year-old self think of you and the life you're living today? And let's get one more. How would you live your life differently if you knew there was no such thing as having a purpose? You just play, right? You just play. Yeah, take that pressure off. All of these prompts to me are an invitation to continuously take the pressure off of yourself, because nothing of alignment is going to be founded in that kind of fear or pressure. This is bringing up an interesting thing. We're going to get a closing message from Earth and Bone Oracle here. This is bringing up an interesting thing, though, this concept of pressure. I feel like, and I'll invite you to reflect on this for yourself, but I feel like there's aligned pressure and there's misaligned pressure. You know, like some days I do have to push myself to film because I'm tired, or who the heck knows something's happening in my life, it doesn't matter what. But there are days that it requires me to give myself a little bit of a healthy push to film, just sometimes. But it's aligned for me to do that. And it's aligned for me to do that because the essence of what I'm doing here is in alignment. You know, this is my heart's calling. So I did not start this channel from a place of self-induced pressure or because somebody around me pressured me to do it. This was born from joy and alignment. And so because I'm kind of locked into that energy, or this channel was born from that essential energy, it is in alignment for me sometimes to put healthy pressure on myself to continue staying committed to it. You know what I'm trying to say. So anyway, just think about that. Reflect on that concept of healthy versus unhealthy pressure. Sometimes we do need to give ourselves a healthy push. But you'll know the difference, right? You can tell the difference. And that's part of the temperance card too. Maybe part of what you're learning right now or playing with is recognizing the difference between those days when you need to give yourself a healthy push versus pushing myself to get something done today would be self-harm. It's not in alignment for me to push myself today. It's a subtle, there's nuance. It's a very subtle, energetic difference. But that back and forth of the temperance card, that could be something that you're playing with, feeling into the subtle energetic difference between healthy and unhealthy push. Okay. Closing message for Taurus. Number 31, Conjurer, higher self, fertility, and creativity. Ooh. All right, let's see what the guidebook says. Yes. Okay. You have the power. Take comfort in the fact that you have complete control over anything you want and that you must change inwardly before you can see it externally. You are the vessel and the instrument of the Creator, capable of manifesting everything you desire. Thus, the transformation begins within you and is carried out by the exterior universe, aligning itself to fit your needs. This is what, quote, you are the creator of your universe means. You have the advantage. However, to seek out the change you desire, you must see the energy and entities that can assist you as external in order to become aware and recognize that change is required and that you will not change unless you consent to the influence. Whoa, did that make any sense? I feel like I need to read that again. However, to seek out the change you desire, you must see the energy and entities that can assist you as external in order to become aware and recognize that change is required and that you will not change unless you consent to the influence. It is all within you. There is a universe within you, and each reality is different and unique because each person is different and unique. When you engage with entities apart from yourself and acknowledge that they have their own essence, you operate with a better understanding and capability of influencing energy. Affirmation. I am part of the universe. I am at one with the universe. I am divine intelligence. I am creating my life according to my dominant beliefs. That is the truth. So you are the creator, recreating and reinventing yourself. Okay? So don't, and if you do feel those internalized fear voices that are putting you on a deadline, maybe part of what would be helpful is to recognize, it doesn't really matter where they came from, but maybe it would be helpful to recognize, oh, that's the voice of my dad. That's the voice of, grandma or this school teacher or, somebody else in your life, a voice you've internalized. It's just like the guidebook said, you're creating your reality according to your dominant beliefs. Many of our dominant beliefs, we didn't just create out of thin air, we inherited them, right? So that might be part of your journey too. Just recognizing, oh, that voice is not actually my own. I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe that. I want to believe that I'm free and I have all the time in the world. Yeah, okay. All right, Taurus, thank you for letting me read for you. I hope this was helpful or at least thought-provoking. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I would love to hear from you. And my journal prompts and the links will be in the description box. I'll see you again soon. Bye.